Hello and welcome to this webinar from OVHcloud. We're here to talk about the third generation of advanced servers. I'm joined by a panel of august guests. I've got Brett from AMD, Liam from OVHcloud and Yuri from Hive Games. I'd just like to pass to each of them before we actually get into it and you guys can introduce yourselves. Brett.
Sure. My name is Brett Roloff and I am responsible for AMD's cloud business within UK and Ireland and a couple of other countries in Western Europe. And OVH are a really important partner of ours, so I'm happy to be here today.
Liam.
Hi everyone, I'm Liam Popple. I'm the Senior Account Manager for Northern Europe for OVHcloud. My main role is working with customers such as Yuri at Hive Games to ensure that they are utilising the greatest things that come out of AMD and sort of servicing the globe.
Thank you. Yuri?
I'm Yuri Kersten. I'm CTO at Hive Games. We're a UK-based game studio, primarily known for our work within Minecraft. We are a Microsoft partner and vendor with them, and we host one of the biggest Minecraft servers on their Bedrock platform. As the CTO, I am responsible for working with OVH, picking and making these kind of decisions about what servers, CPUs we use, and everything related to that.
Good stuff. And I'm Christian Sharp. I'm the Communications Manager at OVHcloud for Northern Europe. So let's get stuck in. Liam, can you tell us a little bit about the Advanced Gen 3 server range?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Advanced Gen 3 is our latest generation of advanced servers. It has evolved now, and we've been able to integrate some quite cool things that have come out of AMD. We've been able to refresh some of the hardware on the RAM, the memory, and also in the hard disks. So we have DDR5 RAM, so you're able to make sure that you're getting the quickest and fastest response time from any in-memory applications that are going to be running. We have enterprise-grade SSD NVMe drives, so you're making sure that you're getting the fastest performance from the storage of the server. And we've also increased the networking capabilities of these servers. So when you look at the NIC cards, they now go up to 25 gigabits, and you can use some of the cool things that come out of OVHcloud, which are OVH link aggregation. So you're going to be able to aggregate two of those network cards into one network card, and then that 25 gig capability goes up to 50. So if you are running these large performance clusters that many people could be, you're going to be able to match the bandwidth that you need through these servers, which is fantastic. Some of the other things, so these servers are now available in all of our data centers around the world. So you'll be able to find that these can be deployed into wherever your customers may be. So whether they're in Mumbai, whether they're in Europe, whether they're in North America, you can take service from us and deploy it to wherever the region might be that your customers are.
Great stuff, thank you. And obviously one of the central components is the CPU. So it uses a AMD EPYC 4004 CPU, right?
Yeah, absolutely does. So we've got a few different generations or series of that generation CPU in the servers. The highest tier one that we have is 16 cores, so you're going to be able to run any sort of complex applications that you're going to be needing to out of this, and certainly Brett, sat next to me, will be able to talk more about what makes that CPU special and why we've decided to integrate it into our latest advanced generation range.
Let's do that right away. Brett, tell us about this wonder CPU.
Well, it's really kind of interesting from a design standpoint, because essentially what this EPYC 4004 processor is a Ryzen chip. So it's based upon Zen 4 architecture. Now, because of the way that we design with chiplets and we componentize things, it makes it easy for us to kind of reassemble and come up with a variety of different products that make sense for our users. And one thing that we saw is that a lot of customers that use cloud would like something that is performant, is powerful, but it is maybe slightly less expensive. Some of our larger EPYC processors can get quite pricey just because of the amount of things that go into them. So coming up with a technology where you get a really performant processor with Zen 4, you also get the ability to scale up to 96 cores, or you have 128 megabytes of L3 cache or 32 of L2, and ECC memory support, etc. So all the things that make server processors, but you have also that same value point of doing it in a Ryzen architecture. So that way it kind of provides the best of both worlds at a good value.
Fantastic stuff. Good. All right. So it'd be really interesting to hear about how this server is actually being used and how organizations are using it, particularly in the gaming industry. Yuri, you guys have been using this server for a little while now. Can
Correct.
you tell us a bit about the experience?
Yeah, so we pretty much switched all over to AMD between the advanced generation and the scale lines of products. So we kind of have two workloads that we have, which is a lot of the proxying and a lot of kind of the more workhorsey kind of workload of the game instances. So for the advanced range, we use those for the proxying. We make use of a lot of features Liam actually talked about, the link aggregation, which is both good for also protecting us from not having things to the public internet, don't have to be, but also the extra bandwidth, and of course the CPU is the most important. So between the previous generation and this generation of the advanced, we saw I think a 40 to 50% improvement of both our cost, as well as we can now just use singular machines to do more than before. So we needed less, we get more, and it's an amazing product that we really enjoy using.
Fantastic stuff, thank you. And can you tell us a little bit more about why you chose to work with OVHcloud for these specific workloads?
Yeah, of course. So there is, of course, other places available, but OVH has historically just been the best bang for the buck, but also everything else just works. Like we also use a bit of the public cloud, but in general, when it comes to bare metal, like OVH has this always been the place to be for new CPUs, really good networking, especially with the new regions that have been added that we also have started using more and more. So it is just the best value proposition for us to use.
Excellent. Which regions are you using at the moment?
So we have 3 core regions. So that is Canada for our North American players. We have we use Gravelines in France for our Europe market, and then finally we use Singapore for the Asian market. And we have started dabbling into Australia and I think it's India. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those two is what we're experimenting with, especially in those areas where the interconnectivity for home internet is a little bit worse for individuals. Having OVH servers closer to them, this gives them a lot of benefits of better connectivity and better play.
Okay, great stuff. And Liam, what else do we have that gaming companies are using today?
Yeah, sure. So not everyone that is going to be doing gaming is going to be a company like Hive Games, for example. You can be a hobbyist gamer. You could be an individual that just wants to play with your friends. So because OVHcloud has an industrialized model, we're able to take like the advanced Gen 2 server range that we did have and then recycle those servers and then redeploy them into our data centers again, but on a cheaper and a recycled way. So you might maybe thinking I don't need to have the latest and greatest technology to run my game server or to run my server that I want to play games with my friends. So you're happy to go for a cheaper option, but still have it in a performant environment that can be wherever you are. So whether you're playing video games with your friends that are in Canada, whether they're in Europe or wherever, you can spawn servers up wherever they might need to be. And that's the OVH Eco range, which we've recently just refreshed.
Okay. And are there any other ranges that we've got that are suitable for these kind of applications?
Absolutely. So this is kind of like an early snippet. So we are going to be releasing our game generation 3 range soon. So this will be using the AMD EPYC CPUs again, but it will be launched with the new edition of our anti-DDoS gaming protection. So we're going to be evolving the anti-DDoS protection that we have for many games. We know that DDoS attacks can be an issue and a problem. Some gamers can be disgruntled, so they can act in malicious ways. So we have developed a quite a robust gaming anti-DDoS system, and we're now going to be integrating more games, so you can just select them from the drop-down and then have the profiles applied very simply and quickly.
And since we're here with AMD, one of the biggest processing companies in the world, Brett, can you tell us anything else about what maybe we can expect from AMD in the future?
Well, goodness, that's a great question. that's a great question, and I can give you a rather general answer because I'm not allowed to disclose too much. But what I can say is that we've seen the success of processors like the 4004, and we realize that there's absolutely a market here for that solid Ryzen architecture, but beefed up for the data center and providing a value to game developers and hosters and things like that. So I can guarantee you'll see more to come there. With regard to our other roadmap of larger EPYC processors, we've kind of hit the end of the line on our Genoa platform, which is the big guy. That the next one that's coming would be Turin, and a couple more beyond that. But yeah, we're really doing a lot in terms of energy efficiency. We have just very quickly, we have an initiative called 3025 where we're planning to 30x the reduction of energy consumption, but it's actually between 2020 and 2025. Oh, okay. So not from So the idea is the energy cost of a single computation will be, our target is reducing that computation's energy cost 97% from just 2020. So when you replicate that across a data center, that's massive energy savings. And considering we have data centers that are now responsible for 3-4% of the world's energy consumption, and that's only going to grow because we have another thing coming called AI, which we're in that as well. We have a product called MI300, or it's our Instinct line, and that's hit demand that we just can't make enough. So that's another thing there. But that's all coming. You'll see it rolling out over the next year or so of some exciting things. But you can absolutely guarantee that this platform from 4004 on is an exciting one for us, and we're definitely going to continue investment. We're going to double down on it. So you're going to see some exciting products there.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Great. Okay, that's all we've got time for. So I'd like to thank my panelists. Thank you very much for your time and your knowledge and your expertise. And thank you to everyone for watching. Now, normally we'd take questions from the audience, but actually we're going to take questions internally now. Brett, we were just talking about something really interesting. Do you want to go again?
Yeah, so I mean, in our discussion, we talked about hosting for gamers, and that seems like a bit of a wider demographic than the average person might think. And I'm curious in terms of gaming as a business, but also gaming as in a group of friends, or I'm curious how you're using our processors to kind of help make this stuff go. But I'm curious how that breaks out. Where do you see the value points for your customers, and also how do you leverage those different tiers of capability?
Yeah, certainly. So certainly when you look at the advanced Gen 3 range that we launched with the EPYC 4004, that I would say is definitely more tailored towards gamers that are running a business. So such as Hive Games that have a vast Minecraft community that they're serving that is global. And then when you sort of go down that chain, as you just referred to, the hobbyist gamer or the individual gamer, that is when you're probably going to want to look at some of the older generation, the more affordable, so that you're going to want to go to the OVHcloud Eco range, or even just the OVHcloud Game Server range. So the OVHcloud Game Server range is really tailored towards an individual that is just wanting to run a game server with their friends or their family, whoever. And I guess, Yuri, you'll be able to talk more around how is the Advanced serving the business of gaming, let's say.
Yeah, 100%. So one of those things there is, of course, the better CPU, but also the combined features that OVH offers at those higher tiers. So one of the things we talked about is the private link aggregation, which is also really good for security, but also allows us, because these are bigger bandwidths, because thanks to the innovation at AMD, we can run so much stuff on a single server now, where before we might have 10 different worker servers. That's pretty much replaced by one of two now. So at those ranges, you also have the better bandwidth up to, I think, 50 gigabits. When you combine them, that allows really you to scale up kind of tier by tier. So advanced is still, like for some like starting companies or starting groups, the better one. If you do need to do more on a single server, you need a better bandwidth, or if you have already taken a step to, I have 2 servers now, and maybe I'm load balancing a bit, or I have multiple games that I'm hosting. And really you get into it once you get into the skill range, where you're hosting, like we are hosting, I think, up to 600 game lobbies on a single skill, like AMD server. And we have multiple of those in multiple geographical regions, all interconnected, all VRAC, international private network, really high bandwidth. It's really the perfect way to run such a large gaming community.
I think that's, I mean, you know, I got the top, I mean, let's face Hive is on OVH, you're host in a single Minecraft server, you're hosting like the population of Luxembourg, but which is kind of crazy to think about. But also it hadn't occurred to me that you know, it's realistic for a small group of people to actually have a gaming server. In, you know, I wouldn't have thought that was you know, that from a cost wise would work out, but apparently you can do that then, right?
Yeah, you really can, and it's the reason why you might want to do that is so that you might have more control. So that if you're running your own server, you can do what you want, and also you're not restricted to a game.
Yeah.
So it's quite common that you might be playing Minecraft, and actually 2 months later you go, I'm bored of Minecraft now. I want to play a different game, and then you get these like viral games like Power World that came out earlier on this year.
Right.
So you can have your group of friends that you always want to play games with. You have your private server, and then that way you can ensure that you're playing all the game at the same time because you're in control.
And your PC doesn't have to be on all the time.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a huge benefit right there.
You can connect to wherever you can connect to it wherever you are.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, well that makes a lot more sense now. Okay, great.
Super. Thank you.